So I invite you to now please join me in our time of meditation. Just first, allowing yourself to be comfortable in your chair, or perhaps you're in a cushion or laying on the floor at home. Just to find a comfortable seat. Just allow yourself to be comfortable in that seat. Just allowing your back to be tall but not stiff. Just holding your head so your ears are above your shoulders, and maybe just slightly tucking your chin a little bit. Just allowing your shoulders to relax, and then just placing your hands on your lap or resting them on your knees, just wherever feels comfortable. And the first thing I invite you to do is just notice the feel of your breathing. Just becoming aware of your body breathing and just settling your attention on that place in your body where you most easily experience the sensation of the breath just flowing in and out of your body. Just allowing the breath to be normal and natural, and no need to try to change it or shift it. Just allowing your awareness of that breath to be open and just relaxed. And as you notice each breath, you create a sense of spaciousness. Not a tight feeling, just a space of spacious awareness, just allowing the breath to just come and to go. And when you've noticed that the mind has wandered, as it tends to do, just always come back to the breath. Just accepting in the moment that minds wander, but we can work with that just by being willing, without judgment, and just a willingness to simply just begin again. And as you sit in meditation, you may have moments where you feel focused, relaxed, and at ease. Those moments where it's easy to accept those moments without trying to struggle with or change them. Other moments, we may feel a little more restless or have some discomfort or notice an itch somewhere on the body. But I invite you now to see if you can hold those moments that may feel unpleasant, with the exact same quality of open curiosity as those moments that are more naturally easy. Just allowing each moment to be as it is, to develop a curiosity about each moment, and to just be open and willing to watch the changing nature of your experience. And in a moment, we're going to go into a moment of short silence. And before we do that, I invite you to shift your attention to any thoughts you're having in this moment. And to notice what your thoughts are doing. If you're having thoughts about not liking something or wanting it to be different. Maybe there's a conversation in your head where you're trying to convince maybe somebody to think or to do something different. Just as we go into the silence, I invite you to just sit with that. Just sit with those thoughts and to just see if you can notice any tendency to try to judge or change the situation. To just sit in each moment and just allow it to be as we move into our time of silence. And now in this moment, I invite you to explore any feelings of criticism or judgment about yourself or about someone else or a specific situation. And just to explore it, to see if you can let go of those thoughts. To summon the willingness to just let it be as it is. Perhaps even saying to yourself, it is what it is, and coming back to your breath. And just noticing that some of our discomfort is related to the way we feel we must struggle or the way we feel we must fight. Maybe realizing that it's possible to let at least some small part of that just simply be. Just inviting you now to come back to your breath and just relaxing once again into the spaciousness of your present moment experience. And to do so without any judgment, but instead with curiosity and with acceptance. Once you feel ready, I invite you to just kind of start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, just bringing yourself back to the room, bringing your awareness back to the room. And just allowing your eyes to open when you're ready. And just placing your hand over your heart. And just allowing yourself to say, and so it is. Namaste. Sound near like that. All right. And I think I know everybody in the room, but for anybody that I don't know or for anybody who's watching online this morning, I'm Reverend Evin Wilkins, and grateful, like Mindy said, that everybody decided to join us today. And, we know that I told Mindy probably if I was a congregant, I would have stayed home today and just stayed in bed. But, I'm glad y'all are here. So I did want to start today by asking everyone to remember and to together to honor the life of the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who made his transition this morning. Yeah, at the age of 90, so we hold him in our hearts, and we know he is soaring high on the other side, and we want to just remember him in his memory this morning. And now it's hard to switch to a lighter note, but did anybody get anything good for Christmas this morning that you want to share? No new cars or anything like that? All right. You what? Well, that's okay. Heather got a loaner car for anybody online who didn't hear that. So, those commercials always kind of crack me up when they, around Christmas when they show people getting new cars. Because Mindy was like, can you imagine just going and buying one of those and like your spouse or your partner doesn't know that you've either spent that much money all at once or taken on that kind of a payment? Here's your brand new car and your $500 a month car payment. Merry Christmas. But anyway. All right, so I guess it's safe to say today, with it being December 26th, that the Christmas of 2021 is now over, But in fact, the entire year of 2021 is about to be over with. I mean, where's the time gone? It's gone to COVID, I think. But anyway. But we wait, we're in that transitional period right now. Christmas is behind us, but yet the year 2022 is just right around the corner. And about now is a time that we likely ask ourselves whether or not we should make some New Year's resolutions, right? And what those should be. Asking ourselves, if there's something I should change as I go into the new year, Asking ourselves maybe if this year of 2022 is finally the year that we, and you can fill in the blank for whatever that is that you might be thinking about or wanting in your life. And this time of year also tends to be, if you've been around Unity for a while, and other churches may do this, but it tends to be very symbolic at Unity churches where, we start with our burning bowl service, which will be New Year's Eve night, but that's where we release, through a ceremony, the thing or those things that we just don't want to carry around with us anymore. Those things that we feel like are just kind of dragging us down or weighing us down a little bit. We release those things so that we can make room for the new or for something that we do want to carry around, that we do want to see manifest in our lives. It's the time where we do the work to release whatever it was that was weighing us down, helping us to kind of move forward a little bit. And maybe you're in a transitional place in your life right now that has absolutely nothing to do with the impending new year. Maybe you're in a transitional period, maybe you're currently experiencing grief of some kind, or a decease of the body, a new job situation, maybe the birth of a new grandchild that's putting you into this period of transition, something new. Anything that's bringing change in your life, a period of transition into something different. So whether it's this transitional period between 2021 and 2022 or something else entirely, we stand at this moment, at this transitional moment right now. We've just walked through a doorway, and we find ourselves standing in a hallway now. A time where we've just exited one door and we're preparing to enter into another. Maybe you look down that hallway and you're like, wow, that hallway is really long. Or maybe it's really short. Perhaps that hallway contains many different doors. Many doors of which are illuminated. And we wonder which one to open, if any. Or perhaps we stare down the hall and we find there's only one door that's calling to us to open it. Only one that's illuminated. And we wonder, well, should I even open it at all? Maybe no doors are illuminated. Whatever it is, we just have We just have to enter into another room at some point eventually, right? We're eventually going to have to make our way out of the hallway and out of that transitional period. And whatever it is that you need to release, however long your hallway is or however many doors you see, we often ask ourselves one question when we get here, when we get to this period of transition. Well, actually, a couple of questions. Maybe we ask ourselves, what now? Or, where do I go from here? Has anybody else ever been in that position? Do we try to cling to the past? Is that what we should do, even if it wasn't serving us well because it was familiar? Do we try to stick our foot in the door that's about to close in an attempt to keep it from closing? Trying to remain in a space that we no longer should inhabit? Now, in her book, Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door, Unity Reverend Ellen Davenport states, she's also a fellow Texan, but anyway, she states, some of the greatest pain I've ever experienced in life has come from sticking my foot into a closing door, hoping to avoid the inevitable. I've screamed and cried and pounded on the door, trying to keep it open. I've sobbed and cursed when the door was locked tight behind me, even when I knew its closing was for the best. Now, I know that her words ring true for certain instances in my own life, that's for sure. Sometimes it's difficult to say goodbye and to allow a door to shut in certain instances, even when I knew that wasn't what was best for me. Or I spend way too much time second-guessing myself. Anybody ever second-guessed yourself? Asking myself, why I didn't see a certain event coming. Oh, I should have saw that coming. Or asking if I made the right decision about a job. About how I spent a certain amount of money. Asking why I didn't take that trip that I wanted to take. What held me back? And now, during moments of transition, here we are in the hallway. Second-guessing ourselves or not, that doorway has closed. Maybe you feel this way about the impending close of the year 2021. Maybe you second-guess yourself. Maybe you're fighting the closing of that specific door. Maybe you are ready for it to close. Maybe you want a specific door to close. Yet there's a certain trepidation about what this next year, what 2022 will bring, or about whatever change a new door will bring into your life. And again, maybe you're in the hallway not for the impending new year, but for something else entirely in your life, some other transitional moment that you may find yourself in right now. As regardless as to what space you're in, you are in the hallway. Now, Reverend Ellen says, but before we can begin any spiritual work, much less open a new door, we have to acknowledge and accept where we are. Oh, I'm in the hallway. Like it or not, a door has closed and the next has not yet opened. So for me, I remember when I once had a difficult decision to make in my life. I remember talking to another minister about it, and I felt really conflicted. Making one choice would have had one consequence, while making the other choice would have had another consequence. And it felt really uncomfortable for me at the time. That's what I didn't like about it. It felt uncomfortable. So I remember the minister saying to me, she said, why do anything? Why not just allow yourself to become comfortable within that uncomfortable space? And allowing myself to become comfortable within that uncomfortable space of uncertainty, was the best decision. Because I had to acknowledge and to accept where I was. Because like it or not, I was there. I was there where one door had closed and the other one had not yet opened. So I want to share some information with you today about this hallway and how you can successfully navigate your way through it or to become comfortable where you are within it. The first thing to know is that you, me, none of us are in any hallway by accident. We are in a period of transition because we need to be, because we have to be there. And I'm not talking I'm not talking about just moving from one year to another. This is any time you find yourself in a period of transition. And trust me, because I tell you that if you haven't been in a period of transition, one day you will be. But you see, the hallway is actually a spiritual gift. It is perhaps one of the most spiritual gifts that we can be given in this lifetime. The only misconception we have is when we mistakenly believe that the hallway we are in is there to fix a problem. Maybe to heal a broken heart or to suddenly make the body well from a disease. That's not what the hallway is. The hallway is instead a place where we are to do the work. Oh, there's that word work. Sometimes it's like, just give it to me. Don't make me work for it. But as Reverend Ellen says, she says the work of the hallway is to meet the spiritual challenges that all life transitions have in common. To move consciously through a period of change and to milk it for any divine lessons and soul's growth that it has to offer. That's why it becomes all the more important to not try to find a quick exit. Because when we rush to get out of the hallway, especially before we're ready, especially before the work has been done, we're going to look back to A, find that we acted based on fear, and B, likely find ourselves right back in that same hallway at a future date because we left it before we were ready, before we did the work that we needed to do. Because we don't want to run to the first door just because it's there and simply because it's convenient, no matter how much we want to. We all want to get out of an uncomfortable situation quickly. But it's like going to a store and only finding one of your favorite colors of shirt hanging on the rack. And you look at the size and it's a child size. Yet you still buy it because it's your favorite color, thinking that somehow you're going to make it work. You'll try and ultimately likely find out that it's just not going to work because the shirt is too small. We want to avoid running through a door simply just to get out of the hallway. We want to exit the hallway via another door because we are ready to do so, because we have done the work. Not just because we want to remove ourselves from an uncomfortable situation. It's not fun being within an uncomfortable situation, is it? Is there anybody in here that likes being uncomfortable? The part of us, there's this part of us that likes to control the situation. Does anybody know what that is? Ego, yes. The ego part of us likes to control the situation and enjoys being in the driver's seat and determining how we navigate each and every turn. It enjoys always knowing the final destination of the trip because it has to know. That's where it feels comfortable. The ego's not overly spontaneous. It can't just get in the car on a warm, breezy day just to take a pleasant drive. Taking roads it's never taken, stopping at various stores and restaurants along the way that it's never visited. The ego doesn't like that. It likes to have every single part of that journey mapped out. Otherwise, it feels anxious. It feels uncomfortable. But you see, sometimes that feeling, that place of being uncomfortable is exactly where we need to be. Because we learn that it's okay to not know. And this is one of the lessons we can learn while in the hallway. We can learn to not resist it. We can, as Reverend Ellen states, learn that this is happening for you, not to you, but for you somehow. As soon as you can love your life the way it is and just be grateful to be alive, you're also going to learn that you'll be moving out of the hallway. No matter how painful or unexpected this experience feels, it will eventually yield gifts you could not have imagined or received in any other way. So another way to successfully navigate the hallway is this. Remember, we can't always see the big picture or the end result. Now, I know that's a revelation to you all. What if we, think about it this way though, what if we aren't the only ones that are needed to play the game? What if more players are needed? In other words, maybe the universe is needing some time itself to line everything up. Maybe that's why you're in the hallway. Maybe you've been holding in prayer to meet a life partner and wondering why that's not happening. Maybe that person that you're going to meet isn't ready yet. Maybe you're in the hallway not only for yourself, but hanging out there waiting for that person to also do their work so you can line up together. Maybe you haven't found that new house you want because the current owners haven't even put it on the market yet. Reverend Ellen states the universe may be arranging the players and events to make dreams come true. Give it time. You'll be glad you waited. And lastly, another way to successfully navigate the hallway is kind of what I was going back to earlier, to not settle. You see, when we settle, it's usually because we've lost faith. We didn't wait for the right house, the house we really wanted, so we settled. And because we settled, we constantly find ourselves complaining about the cramped kitchen, the lack of the closet we wanted, whatever the case is. Then we realize that we only bought that house because surely the one we wanted was never going to happen. I think we've all been there at some way or at some point in our lives. Maybe it wasn't a house. Maybe it was something else entirely, but I believe we've all lost the faith and settled at some point. Because we feared that whatever it was we really wanted just wasn't going to happen. Now, Reverend Ellen says this about the subject. She says, don't lose faith and don't settle. A temporary solution is not the same as settling. If you opt for a temporary solution, remember everything you really want is still available to you. So today, whether it's this transitional period between one year and the next, between 2021 ending and 2022 about to begin, or whether it's something else entirely in your life, we find ourselves standing in a hallway right here today. Reverend Ellen's book is titled Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door. But maybe it's time we realize that although the hallway can feel like hell, it doesn't mean that it has to be. Maybe it doesn't have to be dark in the hallway. Maybe we can find light while in the hallway rather than just at the next door. I'm going to say that the choice is ours. While in the hallway, during those times of transition in our lives, it's okay to not know the ultimate outcome. All we need to do is just buckle up and prepare for the journey of a lifetime. Namaste.